It's time for another Dice Tower review with Zee Garcia.
I very much enjoy abstract games, abstract strategy games, and there's just something about them that really does it for me. It's the elegance, the simplicity, and yet coupled with that, the depth, the amount of thought that they allow for, amount of tactical maneuvering. Of all the designers, modern designers that have been making abstract games, no one, in my opinion, stands shoulder to shoulder with Kris Burm, whose magnum opus has been the GIPF series. This is a series of 6 games which have all been very elegant and very good for the most part. There's some fantastic games in that line. And none of them have come out for years. As far as everyone knew, these games were done, this idea, this project of games. Well, now there's a new one that just came out from Kris Burm, and it's called LYNGK. This is the 7th game in the line, and as he refers to it, it's sort of an umbrella game. It could very well be the last one, maybe not, but it feels like sort of a culmination of the ideas that he's put into all of these 6 games. But it's been some time. It's been a while since he put one of these games out. So does this one match up with the other ones? Does it feel like it belongs? Is it good? Ultimately, that's the main question. Is the game any good? Let's take a look. Let me explain the game to you a little bit, and then we're going to come on back and we'll discuss that question a little bit. All right? Here we go. To set up the game, we are going to remove one of each of the 5 main colors, and we are going to set those aside. So here we have, these are the 5 main colors in the game. I am not including the 3 wild pieces you can see here on the board. So these are going to be set aside, and then we are going to randomize the rest of the pieces onto the board as I've done here. And then you're ready to begin. You pick a start player and you go. The objective of the game is to score the most stacks of 5 pieces. So 5 pieces high, you claim those, you set them aside in front of you. At the end of the game, when no more moves are possible, whoever has taken more of those stacks is going to be the winner of the game. If there's a tie, then you check the board, and whoever has the most 4 height stacks wins. Then if that's still a tie, 3 height stacks, and so on. Throughout the game, players are going to be moving these pieces, stacking them on top of one another, and claiming some of the colors to be their own colors. You won't be able to claim a stack until you own the color of the piece atop that stack. So here we go. On my turn, I am going to first, I may claim a color, and you'll do that twice throughout the game. And so one player could end up with, say, white and red. The other player could end up with black and green. And blue would be neutral. There will always be one that never belongs to any player. So that's the first thing I may do. I can claim a color. Second thing I can do is I can move a piece or a stack of pieces on the board onto another piece or stack of pieces. It will be in a straight line, skipping any empty spaces, landing on top of wherever you have made a beeline to. If the pieces are neutral, which they are at the beginning of the game, unless I claim right now, then a piece can only go on top of another piece or stack. I'll just say piece, but I mean piece and stack, if it is the same height or higher than wherever it's going. And so at the beginning of the game, I can move anything, anywhere. I can just do that. All right, but later on, I cannot. If this is still unclaimed, I cannot take green here and put it on top of this stack because green is smaller. So that's the first, those are the 2 parts of my turn. I can claim a color, I can move a stack. Once a color is claimed, let's say my opponent here claims red, then a couple of things are going to happen. First of all, I cannot move red. I cannot take a red stack and move it somewhere else. And for them, who the player that can that's the only one who can move red, they can move that red stack or piece onto any height. And that's how the game works. The wild pieces, the 3 wild pieces here, can take the spot of any other piece. And what I mean by that is when you are claiming stacks of 5, and this is the crux really of the game, each color in that stack, every color has to be different. And so you are claiming typically one of each of the 5 colors. Unless, of course, there are some wilds in there and they'll step in for any color. You could even have multiple wilds in the stack. So let's just play a little bit here. I'll go there. And it'll be my opponent's turn. They may claim a color. They will not do so yet. They're going to move this piece here. Comes back to me. I will also not claim a color yet. I am going to move this piece here. It goes to my opponent. And let's say they will claim a color. They'll claim red. And now I can no longer touch reds, and they can move a red onto a taller stack like that. So now this stack has 3 in it. Comes back to me, I will still not claim a color. I'll move a piece, and I'm going to move this piece here to... I'm going to move this piece here actually to there. And the reason I might do that is because I want to start blocking out reds, because I know those are theirs now. I can jump onto them as long as that's legal. I just can't move red itself. Goes back to my opponent. They are going to move... here would be... Still okay? Yes, they'll move there. Comes back to me, and I am going to claim green. I'll take green, I'll put it on my side of the board to say that I've claimed green, and I'm going to jump onto this piece here, and then back to my opponent. They'll take this, they'll jump onto this wild piece. They have now made a stack of 5, all different colors. They claim that, they put it aside. They have 1 stack of 5 towards the victory of the game. Comes back to me, and again, I'm kind of going through this quickly, but comes back to me. I am going to jump on top of this black piece. Goes back to my opponent, and this is something to watch out for, which I'm going to show you. They claim white. They have now claimed red and white. I know exactly which ones are their pieces, and they'll take this white piece here and jump it onto that stack, which was previously mine, making a stack of 5, and claiming that one as well. They've got quite a considerable lead now, but at least I know which ones are their colors, so I can start working to take those colors out of play, to cover them, etc., to give them bad moves, okay? And so this is going to continue back and forth. I might cover up that red with my own green. And the game, of course, the way I'm playing here is quite quick. I'm not really, taking a look at the state of the board very much, but it's just mostly to give you a look at how all of this is working. One last thing I want to mention, which really will be the last rule you need to concern yourself with, is what the game calls the link rule. And the link rule works like this. Let's say that these pieces are already gone. And let's say I want to cover up, it would be my opponent's turn. They want to cover up that green right there. You could do it with this piece, of course, with white. They could do it with this piece with white. But if they wanted to do it with this piece for some reason, you could do that, because the link rule says you can go in a straight line until you hit one of your own color, the same color, and then you can bounce from there. And so if they're out here, they can go here and bounce off of that and go there. And you can do that with any color that is claimed as your color. Same thing if I am blue, let's say, I've claimed blue, and I can move this piece from here, bounce off of this blue piece, and cover that up. This is going to continue until there are no more legal moves on the board at that point. And by the way, if one player has no legal moves, the other player keeps going until the original player that passed has moves again. But at some point, neither player will have any legal moves on the board. You stop, you count how many of these 5 stacks each player has. If you have a winner right then and there, game's over. If there's a tie, let's say they took 2, I took 2, then we check 4 height pieces. And again, I'm looking at the top color here for the ones I've claimed, the 2 colors I've claimed. And if there's a tie there, you keep on counting down in height until you've determined who the winner is. And that is how you play Link. All right, so there you have it. As you can see, it's a fairly straightforward game, though there are possibly a couple more rules than in most of the other games in the GIPF series. Those games tend to have just a couple of rules, but lots of tactics. And this one, yeah, there's a couple more rules than in some of those games. Doesn't bother me. I think it works well. But let's answer that question. Is the game any good? How does it compare to the other games in the series? First and foremost, yes, the game is good. It's very good. I really enjoy it. And like many of those games in that series, it takes a little bit of time to sort of reveal itself. You know, the games of this nature, abstract games, games with a lot going on, but very little going on from an outsider's point of view, tend to take a little bit of time and a few plays to really, for them to sort of blossom, you know, for you to understand, okay, I can see how I can manipulate this to my advantage. This game has that in spades, I think. The play, the idea of the cadence of the play, when you claim a color, why you claim a color, how you move on the board, spotting possible moves for your opponent to be sneaky, to take something over, moments where you can do that. They're all there. It's all available to you. And this concept of stacking the colors is a pretty new idea. It's a new idea for this project anyway, for the games that Kris Burm has made. I like the colorful nature of the game. It's certainly different from the other games in the line, and so I enjoy that as well, simply from an aesthetics point of view. But the game play here is thinky. It's a little bit longer than some of the other games in the project. Certainly some of the ones that are my favorites, like LYNGK and Zar. Both of those are shorter than this game. I mean, those games are sometimes 15 minutes. This one makes you slow down a little bit because of the repercussions of the moves on the board. The box lists the play time at 30 to 60 minutes. I don't know if I've played yet where it's taken me 60 minutes to play, but certainly 35, 45 minutes, yeah, I could see that. And it's an engaging game the entire time, because especially later in the game, when some of those moves have dwindled, you really want to take your time and make sure you are not committing a mistake. You know, you're not making a huge error. And I like it. It's thinky, but not too, it's not obtuse the way you are intending to do things, you know. You will never do a thing because you forgot a rule. I like that very much. So yeah, I recommend it. Is it the best game in the series? Does it fit with the series? Let's answer that second question first. Yes, I think it fits. It feels like a GIPF game to me. Is it the best game in the series? No, but it's also not the worst. It's a very solid game, and considering that it's so much later than the other games, it's almost like no time has passed at all, you know, in this line. If you discovered these games now, I don't think you would look at them all and say, this one doesn't fit. This one fits. It fits right in. It's like no time has passed at all for Kris Burm and his designs, you know, which is fantastic to see and gives me hope that there might be more of these games, because I'm a huge fan. And so for me, I think this might be the third or fourth favorite, putting it solidly in the middle of that pack. But what a pack to be in the middle of, right? That's the thing. This is still very highly rated by me. The other games, I mean, there are 2 games in this project of 6 games, now 7 games, that I rate a 10, as in a perfect score. 2 of them have that score. This is not one of them, but it's still very highly rated. So that's enough rambling from me. All of this simply to say that I think if you're if you're a fan of abstract games, you need to go out and get this game. I'm going to give this one a seal of excellence and recommend it. Absolutely gorgeous game. Production's fantastic. Gameplay engaging, solid, truly interesting. Seal of excellence. Once again, check it out, folks. That's LYNGK.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at DicetowerNetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.